Namo Namaste Gurave Mahatmane Vimukta Sangaya Saduttamaya Nityadvayananda Rasasvarupine Bhumne Sada Paradayam Buddhamne Namaste Namaste Vibho Vishwamurti Namaste Namaste Chidanandamurti Namaste Namaste Tapo Yoga Gamya Namaste Namaste Shruti Jnana Gamya Swarajya Samrajya Vibhutiresha Bhavat Kripa Shri Mahima Prasadat Prapta Maya Shri Gurave Mahatmane Namo Namastestu Punarnamostu Namo Namastestu Punarnamostu Namo Namastestu Punarnamostu Namastasmai Sadaikasmai Kasmai Chinmahase Namaha Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajati Yadi Tad Vishwarupena Rajati Guru Rajati. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shanti Mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu
Om Sahana Vavatu
Sahano Bhunaktu
Sahanau Bhunaktu
Sahaviryam Karavavahai
Sahaviryam Karavavahai
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Ma Vidvishavahai
Ma Vidvishavahai
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
So this Brahmananda Valli, beginning itself, the last week we discussed in detail, all the great statements are made, particularly Brahmavit Apnoti Param. The one who knows Brahman, he attains the Supreme. Then what is Brahman? That was defined, and then how to find it out? Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. One who knows this Brahman, who is the substratum of the entire universe, knows him in the Hrit Guha or Buddhi Guha, right within, in that supreme space, that as we proceed inward, it is not the physical space. But finally, when we get rid of all the object association, all material association, all worldly association, all ego, all desire, everything, then we experience the conscious space, which we say Atma or Brahman, or our own real identity. How it is happening? It is happening because normal cases we are always covered, our perception is covered by all objective things. So when we can disassociate our mind and intelligence and everything and keep them silent, go back to the space within, actually we are proceeding within, but there is no within or without. Once we reach there, it's the infinite conscious space. There is no within without at all. There is no body, nothing. Now how to go about it, how to experience it, is the sadhana. So, in Taittiriya Upanishad, they have given a particular kind of meditation of how we proceed from the gross to subtle. That is what I had explained to some extent in the second Anuvaka and third Anuvaka. So, without going into the detail of those mantras, I thought I will present a summary with some diagram which will give us a comprehensive idea of what we are going to do, of what the Upanishad is talking about. Show the first slide, 14th. Now, here I have written, to explain or understand creation, various models are used. Now, it is not only in our scripture, in Purana, in Upanishads, in various philosophies, in our science, everywhere, various kinds of models are used. Truly speaking, whatever we find happening in this world, there is no point in asking why. Because the world is infinite, the time is infinite, we are nowhere to know what is behind. So, in physics also, what we do is we try to understand the how of it. How things are happening. How means we try to understand, find out some laws of symmetry and all, which are being followed by the incidents taking place in this world. Why there is no answer at all? We are nobody to answer why. That is why the common misunderstanding, we say that the apple has fallen from the tree. Newton inquired, why did the apple fall? Why did it not go up? And he found gravity. There is a lot of misconception involved in that. It is to explain the fall of the apple, or when we throw a stone, its trajectory, or when we put the satellites around the earth, their trajectory, all the grahas and all the stellar objects, they have certainly, they are all harmonized by thinking of a force called gravitation and gravity. In the case of earth, it is gravity. Now, suppose the apple without falling had gone upward, then the laws would have been different. We cannot question the apple that why are you going up? If nature creates that the apples all will go up, we will explain that by creating some other law. When we found that whatever Newtonian laws were there, they are not valid. They are not, the events are not agreeing, are not abiding by those laws. Then we found new laws. For very small particles, we had to find out we have to discover the quantum mechanical laws. For very high speed, we had to go to the relativistic mechanics. So everywhere we are extending. Whatever is happening, nobody can question. There is no why. We are only trying to understand things in a methodical manner and say how. That is the how. How means how things are related, so that we can predict also what is going to happen in such a case. Now, in our Shastras also, it is not a question of why. It is only we try to understand what is happening with a new outlook. Suppose our rishis first, they started investigating into the various phenomena. They could not understand quite a few things happening in the world, say earthquakes suddenly happening, or even the flood, or even the sun and moon going this way, that way, various things. So they considered as some fundamental devas, we say. The deva means, the word has come from dip dhatu, which means, which has got its own luminescence, which reveals. So they conceived of some devas behind some of the things happening. Suppose lightning. Oh, there is somebody called Indra who, when wants, he releases the lightning. Suppose Varuna is there, who is the god of water. Usha is there. When the darkness is going and morning is coming up, there is a deva. Actually, although we considered these devas as personalities and all, but by that there is a very good generalization also, that considering whatever is happening in this universe, considering them being integrated by some forces, which gives us a very general idea, a very integrated idea of things. Now here I have written, to explain or understand creation, various models are used. In Sankhya philosophy, Sankhya is it's considered a very rational philosophy. Now it is very much different from Vedanta. Don't confuse it with the Bhagavad Gita Sankhya. Sankhya means, we generally refer to Sankhya as Kapila Sankhya. That's the Sankhya philosophy, where the Purusha and Prakriti, that is the conscious principle, and the nature, are two absolutely different fundamental principles. Independent. They don't have nothing to do with each other. Purusha and Prakriti are two fundamentally different, independent principles, according to Sankhya. So I have written that in Sankhya, Purusha, that pure consciousness or witness, and Prakriti, that is nature or matter, including human mind and emotions. They are also part of nature. Human body, human mind, the entire human personality, whatever is changeful in the world is part of Prakriti. Purusha doesn't do anything at all. Purusha only witnesses. It is a consciousness, pure consciousness, never undergoes any change at all. Are fundamentally different, two independent principles. So Purusha does not play any role in the evolution of the world. Whereas in Vedanta, we considered the gross world as a projection or an appearance in Purusha or Brahman or consciousness. This I have been telling so many times from the beginning itself, that this is a Vedantic concept. Not only that, it is also rationally most acceptable, and most important is it is experiential. Anybody who spiritually tries to do the experiment to find out the Atma, then this Vedantic model is what they find. That is why mostly we consider the Vedantic model to be more suitable than other philosophies. But there has been some mixture also, various places we use both this way, that way. It doesn't matter so much as long as we understand that what we are doing and what we have to do finally. There comes the purity and asanga, free of desires and all. Whatever we follow, those are the things which will make us free. That we have to understand the freedom in our own mind and intelligence. It's not a freedom which after the body falls. It's a freedom while living. We call it Jivan Mukti. As long as we are practical about that and we pursue that path, there is no problem in having any this philosophy or that philosophy. Now, suppose in this Upanishad, last day we discussed, in the second Anuvaka, that from the Atma evolved the space. I will come to that again in the next slide, but now let me say that there the Atma is common in the entire evolution. The whole world evolving from Atma or manifesting from Atma. So the Atma remains permanent. Atma remains as a seed, as the essence of everything that is coming up or manifesting in the world. Whereas in Sankhya, the Purusha remains separate. Nature is without the Purusha, without the consciousness. Nature is undergoing change according to the causality. Whereas here, whatever be the causality we are seeing or the world we are seeing, it is actually a display on the consciousness, on the Atma. So everywhere, even in the inert object also, consciousness is there as a seed. This is very, very important in Vedanta. The whole procedure is based on that. That if we disassociate ourselves from the Sangha of the objects, then we will be able to realize the Atma. And this realization of Atma is the main thing in Vedanta. So essence of everything living or non-living is Brahman or Atma. This is the speciality of Vedanta. Either it is some being, living being, or it is some inert object. But the essence in everything is Atma. Because consciousness is hiding even in the grossest inert matter, we see the manifestation of consciousness in nature. What do we mean by that? Manifestation of consciousness means as the nature progresses, space, then earth, then many things happened, then many beings came up, then finally the mind manifested, from the mind intelligence, then finally we understand that that I we are referring to is the consciousness. This consciousness is manifest in nature through the process, because the seed is consciousness, it is manifesting itself. It will become very clear from the diagram, I believe, so I have prepared the diagrams because of that. What I said, that is there in the next slide. Continue to. In physical sciences, we considered the subtle consciousness as an offshoot of gross matter. There is a common problem with the scientists, because they considered that consciousness is an offshoot of the body, of matter. Whereas for the spiritual people in Vedanta, we consider gross matter as an appearance in subtle consciousness. This appearing, this vivarta srishti part, unless we are able to understand it very well, this trouble will remain. That the whole creation is not a parinama srishti according to the Vedanta. It is not that the consciousness underwent a change and that has become the clock and that has become the world, that has become the trees. It is not like that. The whole universe, it is just appearing in the consciousness. The closest example is our dream. What happens? In the dream we are saying, so many things are happening. We have created a new personality for myself also. And maybe there is a war going on, aircraft carriers are there, the fighters are coming, bombing, so many people dying, so many things are happening. Suddenly the sleep breaks. Nothing is there. Now, where were they? Whatever vision we were having, that was made of what? Did we create the aircraft carrier or the bombs or anything? We did nothing. It all appeared in consciousness. In the case of a dream, we are able to understand well, because when we get up from dream, we find my mind is remaining as it was. I am back with my own consciousness and mind. Nothing has happened anywhere. So even if there was fear, there was anxiety during the dream, getting up from the dream, all those go, because we discovered that, oh, no, nothing has happened. My mind is this. Now this is called the vivarta srishti. That is, in producing those dream objects of huge dimension, unbelievable dimension, in producing those dream objects, the consciousness of the mind did not undergo any change. They just appeared. It was not that they had to create some causal chain to produce them as we do in the defense factories. Nothing like that. So here we are able to understand, because it is personal and we are coming out of the dream, we are able to see that I am in the same world, everything is fine. But in the cosmic level, we are not able to consider it, because we are not understanding that the whole world is appearing in the consciousness. And repeatedly I say that it will not be clear until you understand that the whole universe, of which my own body-mind personality is a small speck, is appearing in that consciousness. The whole universe, in which my body-mind personality is a small speck also, is appearing in that consciousness. So can you call that consciousness within the body or outside the body? That the body is inside the consciousness. The body, our own personality, is also appearing in the consciousness. That is why we are not able to extrapolate the dream truth to the absolute level. So the whole srishti is called vivarta srishti, because when the huge unimaginable universe is projected, we cannot even imagine the activities going on in the universe. All these are happening, but it's all just appearing in consciousness. The consciousness has not undergone any change at all. So the basics, the force of Vedanta lies in that rationality and lies in that experiment also. That we have to understand what this pure consciousness or Atma, by getting rid of the modifications our mind and intelligence are undergoing. When everything is silent but they are not active, then the truth dawns. Katha Upanishad slokas I have said earlier also. The world we perceive is based on our 5 sense perceptions. So our perceived world is made of Panchabhuta, 5 elements corresponding to our 5 senses. This we call a subjective model. In Vedanta, Vedantic model, this is called a subjective model. Why? In science, we go into the objects, experiment with the objects, and we find out what are the fundamental elements. In those olden days, we were finding out number of elements were increasing. Those days are gone now. Later on, we were finding out elementary particles, electron, proton, and neutron. Then those were also gone. Then we discovered so many elementary particles. Then their nature also underwent a change. So because we are investigating into the world, trying to know the world, whatever fundamental propositions we have, they go on changing. Whatever we discover, according to that, they go on changing. This our rishis understood, that if we try to understand the world by going into the world, and finding out why this, or how this, how that, we will never be able to reach any end. Because I, being a part of the world, how can I depend on the investigation done by me? I am a part of the world. So what they did is that let us first then find out who am I who is looking at the world. In that investigation, they found that whatever world we are perceiving, that perception has to happen in our consciousness. There can be anything outside, but we will not come to know that until and unless that appears in my own consciousness. And how will it appear? We have 5 senses. According to that, we have 5 kinds of perceptions. So the world we look at, there are infinite variety, but all of them are made of these 5 coordinates, our 5 senses. So they considered Panchabhuta as corresponding to our 5 senses. Each is having one particular guna related to our one sense. And according to that, they created the 5 bhutas, mahabhutas, they say. They are independent. Then from that, as the world is born, they will be a mix of all the 5, and the gross objects will be created by this mixture, who will have all the 5 sense perception in them. That I will come. So this is a subjective model. In science, we are dealing with the objective model. Now Vedanta, all the models are subjective model. Wherever we have used model may be little different here and there, but they are all subjective model. That is one point. The other important point, as I already mentioned from Sankhya, the difference is that Atma is already in everything. As the world is manifesting, it is manifesting with the seed of Atma. But when we say seed, also a misconception will come. Actually, the whole world is appearing in the Atma. So how can the Atma be missed? Always the essential element is Atma. Be it an aircraft, but it is appearing in Atma. So it is basically a consciousness. Be it a space or an object in the sky, even then it is appearing in the consciousness. So the basic material is the consciousness, although it is not a material, it is appearing in the consciousness. Now in Vivarta Srishti, this is what happens. Everything appears without changing the essential element. The consciousness remains consciousness. We can give an example also, which is very common. We say Rajju Sarpa, Rajju Sarpa. That in the dusk you see a snake. Actually, it was not a snake, there was a rope lying there. You mistook it to be the snake and you got frightened, you may be shouted, you may run away, many things may happen. But when light was brought and you discovered that, oh no, there's no snake, it is a rope. So immediately the fear and all will go. Now here the important point which I wanted to focus on is that when we were seeing the snake also, did the rope become snake? Rope remained rope. No change took place in the snake, in the rope. So when it is projecting or creating the image of a snake, the rope has not undergone any change, but we are seeing a snake. This is what happens, that when the world is seen also, the consciousness or Atma or Brahman, there is no change in it at all. Only the world appears. This is called the Vivarta Srishti. I have discussed about it quite a lot, even Mundaka Upanishad 6th shloka, that how the source remains unchanging while producing the whole world. Everywhere, this is the fundamental Vedantic truth that comes in. With this, let us now come to the model our Taittiriya Upanishad is giving. Projection of gross world in Atma or Brahman. I think it is visible, so all of you will know. All this, what I have depicted, is what we studied in Dvitiya Anuvaka, second Anuvaka of Brahmananda Valli. That Tasmad vaye tasmad atmanaha akashaha sambhutaha akashat vayuhu vayoragnihi agneraapaha adbhyah prithvi prithivya oshadhayaha oshadhibhyo annam annat Purusha sa vaesha Purusha anna rasamayaha. So here we have just shown figurative in picture so that we remember a little better. That from Atma, firstborn was Akashaha. Then from there, Vayuhu. This Vayu is air as well as prana. In our Shastras, Vayu represents both air and the life forces, because it is our life forces depend on the air we breathe. If the breathing is stopped, then the life forces also will depart. Now, Akasha, space, it is one of the 5 elements. As I say, subjective model of the world, Akasha is an element, space. Now, there it is related to Shabdaha, sound. I said that each fundamental element is related to one sensory perception. Shabda means our ear, that who is, the ears are listening to the Shabda. But in all these, we cannot just remain restricted to the gross perceptions. When we inquire into the Shabda, well, if there is, we will say that, well, when there is no Vayu, no air, even the sound we don't hear, the sound doesn't come to us. It may be produced, but we are not hearing. So, air is necessary. Yes, in the gross level it is so. But Shabda means a spandana. In our Shastras, when we are saying Shabda, means sound, it means a spandana, means a pulsation, a vibration, an oscillation. That is why we come to the Shabda Brahma. From Om, everything is created. From Om, everything comes. That fundamental spandana or vibration is the Shabda. Now, when from Shabda Vayu is coming, Vayu is connected to the Mool the fundamental Vayu element is connected to sparsha, because Vayu, touch, it is the sensation is the touch. Air, the sensation is touch. Now, but from Akasha, when the Vayu is created, it is not that from A, B is created and A had some qualities and B will have some other qualities. It is not so. When A becomes B, the qualities of A are carried to B, and B will have both the qualities of the original B and the qualities of A. You see in the picture. Shabdaha plus Sparshaha. So as soon as Vayu is created from Akasha or space, it is having the guna, the qualities of both the Akasha and the Vayu original. That is the Sparsha, our sense. Similarly, when Vayu, from Vayu Agni is coming, it is not that the Agni is again C, something different from A and B. It is different, but there A has become B and AB together has become C. So there the quality of A, quality of B are all added to the quality of C. So here Agni, the quality is Rupaha. Agni means energy and light also. So it is related to our eye. Each Indriya is related to, they are considered Devaha also. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, they are all considered to be Devas. So here Rupaha, so Agni actually become having three qualities, that Shabdaha, Sparshaha, Rupaha. Actually it is so, if you look into Agni, it will have the Spandana, it will have the Sparsha also, and it will have the Rupa also. In gross Agni, these are the things. In original Agni, or they call it Pancha Mahabhuta, that is the original case, it is having only the Rupa element, only the light element. Akasha will have only the Spandana element. Air will have only the Sparsha element. But when actually it is producing the world, they are having the qualities of all the earlier elements which are coming forth for this manifestation. Then Agni, from Agni comes Apaha, water. From fire comes water. It appears to be, the other day also I said, it appears to be very strange. But this is again according to the water is connected to our tongue. It is connected to rasa, taste. So, in creating rasa, Shabdaha will be there, Sparsha will be there, Rupa will be there, and Rasa will be there. If you think of water, all these qualities are there. In fact, in water, our gas and liquid both will be included. Anything that flows is water. Then further consolidation comes from Apaha becoming Prithvi or earth, solid. There, Prithvi's special quality is Gandha. Because in Gandha, actually, unless that particular molecules they come to our nose, we will not have the fragrance. To perceive fragrance, to perceive Gandha, smell, those particular molecules we have to come in touch with our nose. So, Gandha is the quality of Prithvi. And here, as Apaha is giving rise to Prithvi, all the four qualities that the water has, they are added to the Gandha quality of the Prithvi. So the Prithvi will have Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, all the five qualities of the five senses. This constitutes our world. Now from there, the Upanishad is going to, from the earth, Oshadhaya, means herbs. Herbs are coming. Now from earth, what is the difference of herbs coming in? When the first herb came, what was it? The change in it? Actually, it is the life forces manifestation is coming through that. the life is getting manifest through the production of the Oshadaya. And from Oshadaya, the food is coming. Whatever we are taking as food is annam. It is called annam. In this Upanishad, constantly annam will be used, and that has got very special meaning. It has come from adati. It means both way, that one which is eaten and the other is who eats. Both are anna. Why? There is a philosophy behind that also. Suppose we are eating annam, we are taking food. Now after we take food, is not we are made of that food. Our body, mind, personality is getting made by the food alone. We are made of that food. So we are made of food, we are taking food, that is, food is annam and we are annada, who eats the food. But the anna, when it is eaten by the annada, we again become the food for others. Suppose the body dies, then again the prithvi which was producing the herbs, that takes away all the nutrition from our body and all. The prithvi becomes annada and we become anna. So anna and annada are always interchangeable. Now in the annam, what we have to remember here is that go to the first point of where the I is, Atma I. That I is carried down through the Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, Aushadhaya, food to Purusha. We are conscious beings. Where from did the consciousness come? The Upanishad says that the consciousness is right there, right from the beginning. And that consciousness as a seed is propagating through, permeating through the whole evolution, and that is how the conscious beings are produced. That is the Purusha. Purusha here means the conscious being. Anna Rasamaya Purusha. Whereas in the Sankhya philosophy or in the Panchadashi also, there is something called Panchakosha Viveka. That is, these five. Oh no, I will come to that. It is in the second name. It's next. Now, if this is the Purusha, then one thing is certain, that the Atma is there in the Purusha, and that we all know. Where is the Atma? Aham pratyaya gochara. That means all of us are using the word I, that I. We cannot have any experience without the I being there first. Even in the dream, whatever you are experiencing, it may not be available in this world, some absolutely new thing you are experiencing. But in the dream, that in the form of I, dream I, you are there and you are seeing that dream. In the dream I also, that I is there, then only you are seeing the world. Dream world. So, without I, there cannot be any experience at all. It's the first experience. The first thing to be present in any experience. So, it means that the Atma is there in everything, and where from this body, mind, personality come? It came from food. Where from did the food come? That means in the food that consciousness was there, which finally manifested through the body, mind, personality. And where from the food came? You go back to that completely. Now, the question is to get back to the origin, that Atma, so that we are not affected by anything happening in the world. How to get back to this Atma is the basic question of the Upanishad, because they said that Brahmavit apnoti param. That means Atma or Brahman are the same. And to know the Brahman and know the Atma, How do we proceed? So here comes the method. All these things have come from Atma. So Atma is hiding in all matter as a seed. It is not as a seed. Actually, all matter is appearing on Atma. We are saying as a seed. Now the question is how to get back to this seed Atma from the Anna Rasamaya Purusha. Now our identity, we think ourselves to be the Dehatma Bodha, we call it. I am the Anna Rasamaya Purusha. I know that I am a living being, but in my identity, the body and the parts of the body and the body as a whole, this is the most important perception. This is the most important realization also. We think that I am the body. I think I am the body. So that is what is called Dehatma Bodha. Deha Atma Bodha. Considering the Deha or the body to be the Atma. This is our ignorant state of life. From there we have to go to Brahma Atma Ekatva Bodha. That I am considering as I within me. That is nothing different from the Brahman, the substratum of the whole universe. Brahma Atma Ekatva Bodha. That is the ultimate of spiritual sadhana. So we have to proceed from the Dehatma Bodha to that. How to proceed is for that, the Upanishad presents a meditation based on 5 identities, going from the gross to the subtle. Here I have written, just as a caution, that it is similar to but fundamentally different from Panchakosha Viveka of Sankhya and Panchadashi. Because when we say Panchakosha, many are, I think it is there in Bhagavad Gita also to some extent. The kosha means they are sheaths, they are all segregated. One kosha inside other, that means one casing inside another. There is a discreteness in it. Here it is not like that. Here the whole being, the identity is shifting from one to the other like that, going from the gross to subtle. So this is more experiential also. When anybody meditates to get to that, he will not feel that kind of a distinct sheath or anything like that. He will feel the pranamaya, he will feel the manomaya, he will feel the vijnanamaya, and mostly he will feel the anandamaya. There is no sheath like. Sheath is said that once our perception becomes subtler, we go to the subtle region of the sheath. So there is a very fundamental difference from those descriptions, and I think this actually gives a real picture of the meditative method in the discovery process. Show the next slide. And here I think whatever I said, Miru has tried to give it some I have not drawn this. These are drawn by Miru. But I think it has been done well. We were trying to make it more representative, as representative as possible. So here we start from the lowermost, that is the sthula identity, the gross identity, that I am the Annamaya Purusha. Annamaya Purusha means I am made of food, that means the solid, whatever bone, marrow, flesh I have, that is my identity. And I am not so much bothered about the mind or intelligence or ananda or anything. I am looking for ananda, but I think that the ananda we get is by eating some food or by doing something, all through interactions with the outer world. Whereas here, the ananda we will discover is the Asparsha yoga. It's not coming from anything second. It is just a coordinate of our own self which is oozing out. It is independent of any other second object. That is the difference. So he thinks that I am the Annamaya Purusha. From there, the shlokas also you will find all are there. Sava esha Purushaha Annarasamayaha Tasyedam eva Shiraha Ayam Dakshinaha Pakshaha Ayam Uttaraha Pakshaha Ayam Atma Idam Pucham Pratishtha Tadapyesha Shloka Bhavati. Now this portion of all the mantras, this is ending with this like that. That we will go into further detail if we want to in the next class or next to next class. The basic thing is that in each case they have compared our being with a bird. That is Annamaya identity, our Annamaya identity is like a bird, where the head is there, the two wings are the two hands, then the trunk is the basic fundamental there, and the Mooladhara also, that is the tail part of it, that is where we sit, that is the Pratishtha. Similarly, as we move from this identity to the subtler identities, corresponding to each they have a picture of a bird. That is only model. Model, but very important model if we go very deep into it. Because in the corresponding models also, what is the head, what is the right wing, what is the left wing, what is the trunk, and what is the Pratishtha or Pucha, the tail. They are all meaningful. If we can understand, they will mean that what am I supposed to do in each case. So we need not completely ignore them if our time permits, if our persistence, it needs lot of persistence, lot of patience. I had to work a lot on this to give it this kind of a presentation. It's not easy. So if we have, we will go further deep into it, but really that may not be so much essential. We can go anyway, this way or that way. So the next one is, they are saying that when we go to the subtler level, we get to the Pranamaya Purusha. In this Upanishad they are saying that all these Purushas, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya. These are the five. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya. This is from gross to subtle. Now the speciality of this meditation is that each subtle element is filling the gross element, and it has the shape of the Annamaya Purusha. That is why we have given the outer line. You will find that all are same. In all the five, they are same. That is, as we meditate and go to the Pranamaya part of it, that I am not the sthula gross body, but I am the prana forces which are operating in me. So, when we meditate on that prana identity we get, they are also, he is saying it also has the identity of a Purusha, the outline of a Purusha. Similarly, when we go further down, further subtle, considering only the mind part of it, that I am Manomaya, then also it is having that identity. That is one thing. So we have kept the identity, but as you go to the subtler and subtle level, that outline becomes smeared, more and more smeared. In fact, in the Anandamaya Purusha, that outline is almost not there. It's all Ananda and Alanda everywhere. But the Upanishad says there is an outline. why they have said, I thought about it, I was thinking that why it is called Anandamaya Purusha still. It has not become Atma. Why? Because in Ananda, in sensing the Ananda, we are enjoying the bliss, or we are sensing the bliss. So there is still a separation. When we become the Atma, then there is nothing. There is no question of Maya or anything. Ananda Maya is not that. It is Ananda itself. The Ananta, the infinite Atma, they said Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma also. It's Ananda is a property of the Brahman. So when you go to the Pranamaya Purusha, see, it's a feeling one gets that. Normally what happens? We are very much bogged down by our Annamaya, the bodily identity. Everybody. Too much bogged down by that. As we go inward, even if you do pranayama also, say instead of meditation, if you practice some disciplining breath, pranayama, pranasayama is pranayama, disciplining our breath. At one point you may have the experience of as if I am full with vibration only, full with the prana forces, the vital energy. I feeling will be there. But instead of the solid gross feeling what we carry now, that will be replaced by a very light, vibrant, pulsating prana feeling, which is the Pranamaya Purusha. Now that is filling this Pranamaya Purusha is filling the Annamaya Purusha. If we go further into the mind, suppose when we read that the bird made of all the Vedas and all, we will understand what do they mean. That as we go on chanting mantra and all, mantra is not just an exercise or producing sound. When really we do the manana, mantra word means mananat trayate iti mantraha. The real mantra japa is whatever the mantra means, whatever the mantra represents. Our mind should be completely one-pointedly given to that. Ekagra should be given to that. Now, when it is given to that, whatever the mantra is, our being will be like that. We will become the Manomaya Purusha. It is subtler than the feeling of the vibrancy of prana. Vibrancy of prana has got a little grosser experience than Manomaya. Manomaya will be absolutely whatever is the thought, you will become that. That is why in each of these mantras, anuvakas, you will find that one who, can you show that, just 1 second. The last but one. The next only. 21 slide. Just so and again we will come back. 21st. No. 21st. See, in each of the mantras these statements will come. I am not going into the detail of each mantra separate. They are repetitive. If we understand the basic philosophy, we will understand everything. Sarvam vaite annam apnoti ye annam brahma upasate. That is, in each cases they are saying that one who does the meditation or upasana, considering Anna to be the Brahman. Now what is the Brahman? Brahman is everything, all pervading, the fundamental on which the whole universe is appearing to be. Now, if he meditated Annam, considering that to be the Brahman, that means in your meditation you are completely lost in Annam, you are becoming that Annam. So he says that Sarvam Vaite Annam Apnoti. For him, all Anna, whatever he wants, it is not only food Anna, but in the material world, whatever he desires, he becomes that, he attains that. Similarly, in the next one, Sarvam eva te ayuriyanti ye pranam brahma upasate. That one who considers this prana, the life forces or the vital forces, to be the Brahman. That means you consider that to be all and completely become one-pointed, meditate on that in a one-pointed manner. Then you become the prana. And prana is connected to ayus also. The whatever span of life or whatever the prana you want, you will become that. Because whatever we do wholesomely, that we become. That is the fundamental philosophy here. Similarly, Manomaya, there also you will find that statement that the whatever he mentally completely, this I have discussed in other places, like that suppose you are doing the Shiva Puja. Now whatever is the concept of Shiva in your mind, you are chanting your mantra, Shiva mantra, and what are you thinking? What the mantra represents? What does the mantra represent? What is Shiva in your mind? That does the mantra represent? That the mantra represents. Now, if your mind forgets the whole world, including your own egoistic identity, including your whatever your cravings or desires are, you have to forget the whole world, including your own personality. Then what will the mind be? Will it not be Shiva Maya? Will it not become Shiva? Because in your mind only Shiva is alive, nothing else is there. Normally what happens? I am chanting Shiva mantra, Namah Shivaya, and I am looking for Shiva coming before me. I am waiting when Shiva will become alive before me. All this will not work. Because you are still small and you are looking for Shiva appearing as a second thing. When you completely forget the whole world, forget yourself, then only Shiva remains alive, and that is the darshana you have. That is the real Savikalpa Samadhi, it is called. Savikalpa means the Shiva picture, whatever is in your mind, that form will be there. That is why it is called Savikalpa. Otherwise the consciousness is absolutely stable in that. That is why in our Shastras it is called Devo Bhutva Devan Apyeti. That is the Murti Puja or Deva Puja gets fructified. We need not do any more. That it becomes fulfilled. When you become the Deva. How will you become the Deva? In your Manomaya Purusha you will become the Deva. And all these things will parallelly, what I want to say is purity, purity, purity. You will not be able to do it as long your mind is disturbed by ego, disturbed by desires, disturbed by raga, dvesha, disturbed by clinging to what I like and hating what I dislike. So, in Vijnanamaya Purusha also, it is the level, it is the kingdom of intelligence where the understanding takes place. So, here the understanding will become absolutely clear when our mind is pure and when our intelligence is free of all delusions. So when we considered that understanding as the Brahman, that is all. What are we going to understand? Understanding the buddhi, the prajna. That is the prajna level. Jnana. But there also the Upanishad is saying that that human form will still be there. Yes, that identity will still be there. I feeling will be there, which will almost not be there in the next step when it is Anandamaya Purusha. But there also, as long as the Bhogecha, see that everywhere when we go deeper into it, it is the purity, purity, purity. We cannot reach the Atma without getting rid of our Bhogecha. Bhogecha means the desire to enjoy. We are constantly bundled up in the world because of our desire to enjoy the world. When we find that the real enjoyment is within, there also we want to enjoy the peace or the revelation in the meditation. Again, that enjoyment is holding us. So once we get the bliss in meditation, why are we getting caught there and we are trying to again get the bliss, get the bliss? It is because of the bhogecha. It is because we want to enjoy bliss. Who wants to enjoy bliss? I. So the difference is still there. I am still wanting something. So although I will be in bliss, everywhere there will be bliss. This Anandamaya is a position where you can even see that the whole universe is sizzling in Ananda. Everything is, everywhere it is Ananda, Ananda. As Taittiriya Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad says, Anandadyeva khalvimani bhutani jayante, Anandena jatani jivanti, Anandam pravishanti, avisham vishanti. This whole universe is born of Ananda. It lives on Ananda. It gets destroyed into Ananda, gets finally completely merged into Ananda. Everywhere it is Ananda and Ananda. That is the Anandamaya feeling. But the next step, Atma, that kind of an Ananda also will not be there. Only as a coordinate of Satyam, Jnanam, Anandam, Ananda also will be there. But there won't be any separation that I am having the bliss. So in some scriptures, I think Panchadashi also, they said that this Anandamaya Purusha, the barrier is still Ananda Bhuk. Ananda Bhuk. Bhuk means who is doing the bhoga. He is still enjoying the Ananda. When that enjoy karne ki jo ichha, that bhogecha goes, then only we can transcend that also and get to the Atma. Next one is, so here the whole whatever I discussed, that samadhi, you see, one is external, another is internal. Externally, what did the Upanishad do? They are trying to say on this earth, how is it that Purusha is born? How are the human beings born? Where from they are born? Well, they are born of Atma actually. What is the sequence? That sequence they have expressed in a certain manner. That model might be different also in some cases. But the fact is that the Atma is there at the fundamental. So from Atma, Akasha, Akasha to Vayu, Vayu to Agni, Agni to Apa, Apa to Prithvi, Prithvi to Oshadaya, Oshadaya to Annam, Annam to Purusha. Now the Purusha has come. Here the important point is that Atma is there in the Purusha. That is our Chaitanya, what we have. Now how to get back to the real I? Who am I? So that we are doing, this is the internal part. From the Annamaya Purusha, we meditate and we reach the Pranamaya Purusha. we meditate and reach the subtler level of Manomaya Purusha, still subtler level of Vijnanamaya Purusha. Vijnana has come from the intelligence. Intelligence means understanding, where the prajna is working, understanding is working. From there to Anandamaya Purusha, where it is bliss and bliss alone. And further there to, after rejecting that bhoga ichha, transcending that bhoga ichha, if we can, then we are released in the Atma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Or Satyam Jnanam Anantam, when it is Ananta, Ananda will be always there. We don't have to be concerned that, oh, I will miss the bliss, then the bliss will not be there. That is because of our too much of bhogecha, it happens. Once we are able to get out of the bhogecha, then automatically we become Ananta, and Ananta, as part of it, the bliss also will be there. So it's a full cycle, although the cycle, the one part is a external model of the production, of how the universe is appearing before us. And there we have used the subjective model of Panchabhuta, because we have 5 indriyas. Whereas the internal part, it is not like that. Internal part is absolutely experiential part. That right within the Annamaya, the Sthula, the gross body is the Pranamaya body. We can feel it, we can identify with it. Still farther down in the mental level is the Manomaya identity. Farther down in the intelligential level, it is only understanding, only the knowledge level of identity. Then farther down, suddenly we get filled, devastated with bliss and bliss alone. But still there will be the feeling to enjoy the bliss. When that we are able to overcome, then we will automatically merge into the Atma again. The last one is the analogy of bird. Next. This I have just mentioned. In each stage, the personality is compared with a bird, having a head, 2 wings, trunk and tail. So they have described in each stage what is the head, what are the 2 wings, what is the right wing, what is the left wing, what is the trunk and what is the tail. They all have meaning to do our sadhana, that going from one stage to other, what are the things necessary. For example, in the Vijnanamaya, we will read if time permits. Vijnanamaya Purusha, the head is made of Shraddha, they said. Taittiriya has said that the head is made of Shraddha. These are very great statements. Shraddha means what we value, the Guru Vakya and Shastra Vakya, what value we give. In the knowledge level, when we give the maximum, the supreme value, then only we will be able to go up to that. Okay. Om Sahana Bhavatu.
Om Sahana Vavatu.
Sahanau Bhunaktu.
Sahanau Bhunaktu.
Sahaviryam Karavavahai.
Sahaviryam Karavavahai.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om Tat Sat Jai Guru.